The following is a special presentation of the Retro Sports Network. Yes, I have changed clothes. I have not changed clothes since the last video came out a couple days ago. Hi, it's Ron Shuckett from Retro Sports Network, and today we're going to talk about Out of the Park Baseball 18 and give it a review. I had planned on doing a series of OOTP videos, but they just, since I don't play out the games, it's not the most exciting things to watch. So I scrapped it, and now I just kind of play for myself. And why don't I play the games out? My good friend Al, Red Sox fan, loves playing out the teams and all that, and I love watching the little pawns and his excitement and playing the games. I have a replay game. Action PC Baseball is my go-to replay game. I don't think that OOTP as a series does a good job in replicating baseball as far as historical baseball. Now, it is the greatest what-if simulator ever. You can do anything with it. If you want to start a fictional league in the Congo with 24 teams and modern finances and free agency and all those bells and whistles, you can. It's amazing. If you wanna start up a Lord of the Rings league with fake team names, or a European league based in the era of Charlemagne, you can. You can set it up whatever. As a fictional baseball simulator, it cannot be beat. You literally can do anything your heart desires. If you want to play a modern season with 1890s finances or without free agency, you can, and it does it well. But Out of the Park Baseball is the ultimate baseball sandbox universe. You can literally do anything with it, and I'm not saying that it doesn't do historical replays well, but I think it tries to do too much of too many different things, and the amount of eye candy and statistics that the game presents to you is overwhelming. Now, I cover baseball professionally. I know a lot of these statistics and all that. I don't understand it all. I'm not a huge sabermetric guy, but I understand that it's important and they're good tools and all that. I personally focus on the general manager aspect of the game. I find that complicated enough. You set up your random universe or whatever, and it does give you your superstars, your average players, and your bums. And you're the one that has to figure out how to use all that to your advantage and to win. I don't like the new trading in AI in the new game. I think you can exploit it really badly, which has not always been the case. And one of the things that I've been doing right now, I've taken a mediocre team and built it into a pretty good team within the first 3 months of the season, because of my finances, without taking any hit at all. In fact, I've cut $20 million in dead contracts. That's not overly realistic. But the game tries to make everyone happy. And so the challenge is to put the pieces and parts together to win a to build a team. I mean, everything's included. You got a Rule 5 draft. There's players on the waiver wire. There's full amateur drafts. You can start with a 60 round, unbelievable start from scratch. You can download the current rosters are there. Every season's there. You want the ultimate what if league. If you want Babe Ruth and Bryce Harper on the same team, you can do that, man. It's just too much of a variables thing for me, as opposed to stat driven, as far as a strict replay guy, as someone who grew up with Stratomatic and now understands that the APA or at least the Skeeter soft version of National Pastime, are credible games. It doesn't really scratch that itch for me. I think for a lot of people, though, it does scratch that itch, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that the game is bad in that sense. But for me, the challenge is the general manager mode. Reading the box scores, looking at the stats, trying to figure out how to run rotations, dealing with players who are in a bad mood, signing contracts, building teams for the future. All that. It's an incredibly complex game with a huge learning curve. And stats up the wazoo. If you want to know what your fake catcher did on day games on a 2-1 count, it can tell you that, or at least tell you what happened during the day games and what happened on a 2-1 count. And that leads into trouble because I think, you trying to read what the game tells you, and sometimes that doesn't always work. And if you go to the forums, which are for the most part extremely helpful, everyone has a different opinion of what's the best way to play. The best way to play is whatever you enjoy. And so if you're just looking to replicate a game from 1938 or whatever, you're going to be able to do that because it has a major league license and it has all the current minor league teams. So there's a major league database. There's now a minor league database from 1915 up, and there's the Negro League database, which I believe it got from seamheads.com. So you literally can do whatever you want with it. My cons with the game, like I said, the trading AI isn't as good as I would like it to be. It's not the best. If you're going to sit there and actually simulate, replay a season, there are other games I think that do it better. But you're just overwhelmed, and the interface is okay, but it doesn't really tell you much information. You really have to think things through. And there's a fog of war thing, depending on, you have a scout, you have coaches. It's just so complex that it can be too complex. I keep saying that I won't buy a new version of it, and I end up buying a new version of it. Just because, I think they have a lot of a right. You can, but it is overwhelming, and a lot of the stats don't necessarily mean what you think they mean. And so, in order to be successful, once you figure out how to be successful, then the game becomes easy, and that kind of takes away some of the replayability of it. On the other hand, it's just a mishmash of numbers and assumes that you know what they all mean, and that can be quite complex. And boy, that's a lot of hands in one sentence. You're given a lot of information, and you are responsible for interpreting it. If you actually played out the games, it's just too much. But overall, I'd give it a B. It carries all the licenses. It's great for a spreadsheet game. Is very good eye candy. It makes you think, and you can do whatever you want with it. So there's the positives certainly outweigh the negatives. And like I said, the community gets about a B too. You get lost reading some of the Dynasty replays that people have done over the years. It's great. It really is great. So I do recommend that if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into fiction, creating your own baseball universe, buy it. Absolutely buy it. But if you're just looking for a replay engine, there are worse ones out there, but there are better ones out there too. But if you are into computer baseball, you're not going to regret buying it. Even for the 40, I think it's $35.95 or $34.95. You're not going to regret buying it at all. But beware, if you're new to it, the learning curve is steep, and not all the interaction with players and stuff isn't as developed and refined as it should be. And because even if you played out every single game, there are certain things that you can't see. They're going to frustrate you because their scouting reports are going to be good and all that, and they're just not going to do that. Trust your judgment on some certain things. It can be. It's on the verge of being overwhelming. I really wish it would adapt like Football Manager does. Uh, Interaction with the players. I want you to do X. Okay, or no way, dude, trade me. Right now, uh, the game has really matured over the last 20 years, but there's missing that sort of interaction where what you feel matters. All right. So that's just a couple things I can throw up real quick. I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. We will talk to you the next time.